We good? We live? We'll start up by saying thank you, Leslie, for the teal pair. That was a heck of a way to get us going there. We've got the shark in the chat, apparently. I doubt it's actually the shark, but Greg Norman's here. Yeah, let's see how long YouTube lets me go today. Last time we made it all of about 7 minutes. So let's start in the chat with Denver sucks, and then just a number after that for the number of minutes you think we're going to make it through before they cut me off today. So Denver sucks, and then how many minutes you think we're going to make it before YouTube is like, nah, you Ben, no more live stream for you today. First person writes 5. I hope I last longer than 5 minutes. Jeez. All right, so while you guys are typing away, it's an Ask Me Anything. I will say that that does include beginner questions. If we do get a beginner question, though, that can be answered in the homework, I will short form answer it and then direct you to do the rest of the homework. As always, super chats are prioritized. As always, big thank you to goldobservers.com, the sponsor of our upcoming documentary, still slated to be coming out this fall, probably later in the fall. And for those who haven't heard, it is looking like we are not going to try to super monetize it through a streaming service. We're not going to charge to watch it. We will probably put it on a separate website, but it'll be free for you guys to watch it there. So that's really good news. And I know that was something Gold Observers was really pushing for. They really wanted this to be free for everybody, widespread access. So big thanks to goldobservers.com, our sponsor. Big thanks to all of you who contributed to the Kickstarter. And by the way, opening night for that is likely to be at Observer Ranch. So that's going to be fun. It's we're going to make a whole heck of a weekend out of it. After that, I suppose the only thing to say is observerranch.com for all questions you guys have about the ranch, whether that's the events, booking your stay, or whether you want to be part of the survival community. I can assure you, having me on your side in terms of getting us into the next stage of Earth, it's not the worst thing that could happen to you. Other than that, I'm going to try to be salt-free, but as always, you know, we've got this little guy down here trying to always make me keep it salty. Katie Light, thank you for the teal pair as well. So now that we have gone over all of that, we've got all the Denver sucks, and we have a whole wide array of amounts of time that you guys think we're going to make it today. Let's go ahead and get to some questions. Space weather, solar forcing of climate, Earth's disaster cycle, the micronova, the pole shift, any of that stuff. I guess if you want to ask about cosmology or earthquake forecasting, that's fine too. Don't do as much of that these days, but it's all still up here. Anyway, Salty Traveling, thank you for the teal pair. Appreciate that very, very much. Will Nebraska be an ocean or just get a washing? Eastern Nebraska could end up permanently underwater when we have a isostatic readjustment from the Gulf of America coming north through the states after the New Madrid Fault has caused liquefaction throughout the center of the United States. But they'll definitely get the wave, no doubt about that. Captain Ron Hayward, how's it going? Do solar energy, solar wind, and solar magnetic connections travel in a straight line or in a curve in relation to the Parker spiral? So what an excellent question. The answer is both. And it really depends on the source region where the particles are coming from. In terms of the magnetic connection, that is the Parker spiral curve, the interplanetary magnetic field line through which the flux transfer events exchange plasma between Earth and Sun about every 8 minutes. The solar wind mostly travels outward directly. High energy particles do tend to follow the curvature of the Parker spiral, however. Good question there. I'm actually not sure about the electrons, but those probably should be a straight line event as well. Kimberly, thank you for that teal pair. I'm loving how many teal pairs we got. How about Mount Weather, Virginia? I have absolutely no idea. I don't know anything about Mount Weather, Virginia. But in general, if last time when the wave went the other way, the Pacific broke through the Rockies, there's just, I cannot guarantee even the highest peaks in the Appalachian Mountains are safe. That's all I got for you. Other than that, I don't know the specifics of Mount Weather. I am not a global geography expert. We'll put it that way. Austin says, is the Earth essentially acting as a Wardenclyffe tower with CME's solar winds acting as our AC generator pulse? I see what you're going for there. And from the perspective of the moon, sure. But it's not an internally discharging type of thing. That's a completely different one, a completely different process. But I do get what you're saying. It's an intelligent question, but it would mostly be for exo Earth scenarios, and yet still nearby. Patrick says he's waiting for me to get salty. We're going to try not to get too salty. We're going to try not to get too salty. Do you have a resource for the significant number of scientific papers that you've referenced throughout your videos? I do not. I do not. I mean, technically, I have a list of all of them here. But I've never like put that anywhere or posted it. And it also may not even be helpful because I've got like little minor notes about what each link is. Like, it's not like the title of the article or the title of the paper. It'll just be like sun, rain, or like solar forcing tornadoes, or like solar heart attacks. You know, like I real short note form it in terms of that. So I'm not even sure it would be helpful. Fair question though. Okay. Will a solar storm take out the grid before the pole flip? I'm almost certain it will. Almost certain it will, especially with seeing how Earth's magnetic field has weakened so far and the drastically outsized vulnerability of Earth infrastructure, of the auroras in general, and the geoelectric dynamics. When we get solar storms, it's certainly not linear. It's something close to logarithmic or exponential, something like that. But I would say it is almost certain that the grid goes down before the solar storm. And that's actually something we talked about yesterday at the prepping event. When we do the prepping events at Observer Ranch, one of the things that we do is we describe the 4 stages that we are going to be going through in this event. The one that we are in right now, we call Clown World, where the biggest immediate threats are the idiots running the planet. You know, are they going to trigger World War III, economic collapse? Are they going to trigger civil wars within countries, things like that? Next comes lights out. That's the solar kill shot. And again, that's likely to happen before the pole flip. And at that point, travel is done. You better be in your location. You better be done prepping. And we also don't know when. That's also the hardest one to predict. That one could happen 10 years from now. That could happen tomorrow. The third one is the week of hell, the event. That's the micronova, the pole shift, the great tsunamis. Basically, a terrible couple of days you got to make it through. And then phase 4 or step 4 is the next stage of Earth. Basically, the micronova has recharged Earth's magnetic field up to full power. The oceans have settled, and we are basically in a golden age to restart civilization. That was a very, very long and unnecessary answer, Judge. I'm really sorry about that. But yes, I do think the grids are going down before the pole flip. Mr. DJ, what are you saying? If metal implants like titanium can withstand an MRI, would it be safe to assume the same for the event? I have suggested that perhaps things like titanium could be. However, magnetic fields versus direct electric current is a different animal, even though, yeah, obviously you can't separate electricity, magnetism. But the electric currents that are produced via the magnets in an MRI machine, I'm going to be honest, I don't know how they stop phenomenal electric currents from being produced by those powerful magnetic fields, but somehow they do. That's a part of healthcare science I don't fully understand. But just to be on the safe side, you should be protecting your body field, amplifying your body field. And again, that's stop putting toxins in your body, eat the right kind of food, be physically healthy, be psychologically healthy, and try to remain positive as well. The general positive mindset versus negative mindset absolutely does have a significant effect on the body electrodynamics. And while what you hear on the internet about someone's aura isn't exactly true, it's not exactly false. What you read on HeartMath about the magnetic field produced by the heart, it's not perfect, but it's also not horseshit. And so you do have your own body field, just like the Earth has a field, the sun has a field, there's a galactic field. The Earth's magnetic field is not your last line of defense. You are. Take care of it. PPS 2046, Denver equals toilet. Right on. Jeff Grimes. Thanks, Ben. You are quite welcome, Jeff. Hope you're doing well. Will Apotheos break apart like the Younger Dryas impact comet? Oh my goodness. Synthetic Sylvie. The Younger Dryas event was not a comet. That was not a comet. Graham Hancock is wrong. Randall Carlson is wrong. There was an impactor, but there's an impactor with every single one of these cycles, or multiple impactors with every one of these cycles, which means you need a recurring type of event. And since we would notice a massive asteroid field or a massive group of comets like that, given the fact that we can spot tiny little moon-sized objects out in the Kuiper belt, the answer is it's from the micronova. It's chunks of the micronova that are the impactors. I mean, it's plasma, it's dust, it's silicon, it's oxygen, silicon dioxide, sand, glass, things like that. That's where the microtektites come from. And it basically blasts it out throughout the solar system, which is why there are impactors lining up perfectly with all of these cycles. But when you say Apotheos, I suppose you mean Apophis, and no, Apophis is going to miss quite well. Democracy, I didn't see your comment before you retracted it, but feel free to ask it again or in some other way if you want to, and we appreciate your support, buddy. Thank you. Oh, I scrolled too far. Lisa, thank you for the teal pair. Makes me happy. Jeff Grimes says, really enjoyed the event this weekend. Oh, I thought that's who you were. Sorry, it's been a long day, Jeff. It was nice to see you, buddy. Despite the long drive home, thanks. You are quite welcome, and it was good to see you as well. Seen a few videos by geologist Stephen Burns, who is a moron. He's been talking a lot about Earth-Sun relationship and the activity of the sun. Most of that he learned from me. Detailed info sometimes includes some meditation and consciousness. Well, that I can't really hate on. But Stephen Burns doesn't have a clue what he is talking about, like at all, when it comes to geophysics. I know he says he's a geologist or a geophysicist or whatever. He's completely full of crap. Okay? Totally. I'm sorry to put it that way, but that is what it is. Look at Dan. Holy cow, Adventure Hawk. Should people store brushes for hand pollination of crops? That's interesting. If all the insects disappear during the solar micronova and crustal displacement, I would say if we had any indication that the insects would all disappear, then yes. I don't think there's any chance that's going to happen. One, because insects are kind of like plants in that if you killed every single one today, you haven't killed or gotten rid of all of their seeds, have you? Or in the case of insects, the eggs, which I mean, mosquitoes, flies, bees, they can survive really harsh winters. I don't know if you guys heard the story about those several beehives that actually got covered in ash by a volcano. There were 6 of them. And when they dug them out a month later, 5 of the 6 had survived. Insects are a little hardier than I think we might give them credit for. And then, of course, there's the fact that none of the previous events took out all of the insects. Does that mean it would be a terrible idea to have such a hand brush for pollination? No. But it's good to see you, buddy. Thanks for the support. Really appreciate that. When the micronova hits, we have to be underground. I would highly recommend it. Yeah. My general rule is when the sun starts turning red, go underground. And when everything starts shaking, that's when you come back up. And this is for a couple of reasons. One, when the whole world starts shaking, the great earthquake, the global earthquake, it's because the micronova has hit and the induction through the low velocity zone has melted that partial melt layer, separating, unlocking the crust from the mantle, and it is starting to shift like that. At which point, not only is the main ultraviolet risk of the micronova over, the flash has already happened. But you don't want to be in that underground area in case the mine or cave or root cellar or bunker that you've constructed doesn't survive the shaking. So hopefully it does, and then you can go back down in there in the several days that follow as the wind and the lightning and the hail and the temperature swings become extreme. Again, that is that cosmic hell week, that 1 week of hell. But in general, it's yes, you want to go down as soon as you see the sun turning red, because within about 3 to 5 days, the micronova is coming. And then you'll know it hit when everything starts shaking. I hope that was helpful. If it wasn't, I am really sorry. Brian says, with the amount of volcanic activity expected, any concerns for years of volcanic winter? It is a concern, sure. But, that's always kind of a concern when you're talking about volcanic events. We had the year with no summer, wasn't on one of the disaster cycles. Krakatoa was just as bad. That was not on one of the disaster cycles. So my answer to your question is, I suppose, yes. And it would be a little different, but don't forget, I certainly advocate having multiple years of food stored and then all the seeds and pre-industrial tools to start again. So I hope that's informative. Titanium is paramagnetic, safe for MRI. Titanium bolts and nuts are used in the construction of the machines. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that input there, Ewok Jerky. That is certainly something to consider there. Mara, thank you for the teal pear there. Gotta love it. I won 1.3K betting an earthquake over 8.0 on Kalshi. You can take advantage of this stuff if you're a degenerate bettor like myself. That's funny. I like that. Grandpa Barbecue. Okay. With our current knowledge not being able to predict the year the poles flip, ushering in Earth's new age, I wonder if the Mayan calendar was correct as was predicting this event. I don't know. I know obviously 2012 was not the right year. I spent all of 2011 and all of 2012 up to December trying to tell people the world doesn't end this year. Now, I have heard people saying that date is wrong and that this date is actually sometime in the future, but I have to say, I don't know exactly when that is. So you could be right. To be determined. Any thoughts on the Holy Spirit, presence of God being connected to solar wind or CME? Like Jesus' baptism, death, day of Pentecost. I have not ever thought about that. And I guess that's a little strange considering how much I have connected this event with the Bible and with other religious texts as well. I do sort of tend to think of things in that realm as being more ethereal, where they can touch, whisper to, interact with this realm, but they're not exactly a part of this realm. Do you know what I mean? If not, I honest to God don't have a better way of explaining it than that. So you'll have to kind of go with it. But Austin, that is your second really interesting question of the day. I noticed shit like that. Looking forward to receiving your latest book here in Australia. Boy, that is all outstanding. We're looking forward to them getting sent out to us. They are being printed as we speak. So hopefully sooner rather than later. And if they come early, we're going to ship them out early. We put September because that was when we guessed. However, it wouldn't be the first time that BookBaby printed our books like they were on steroids and literally had nothing else to do with their time but print my books. They have come in early before. So as soon as they come to us, I promise we're getting them out immediately after I sign enough that my wrist falls off. Buddy Carlson, what's up, buddy? Have you heard anything about CMIP7 due out this fall? Any chance they'll add in solar particle forcing? So just like CMIP6, they're adding in limited solar particle forcing. So the data sets came in CMIP6, but that was kind of it. They didn't talk about their effect on equatorward traveling waves, on the global electric circuit, on the jet streams, on the Hadley cells, on the Walker circulation, any of that. What I hear is that in CMIP7, they are going to be adding in the particle forcing of the ozone. Now, that's a positive development, but it's still like it's like you've been begging someone to bring you 5 specific things forever. And every time they show up, they've got nothing to show for it. It's looking like this time they're going to show up with one of those 5 things. And so it's kind of like, well, that's better than nothing, but why can't you just give me the 5 things I've been asking you for the whole time? If you can understand that, that's how climate science works. Good question, though. Good question. Henrik's mom, appreciate the support. It's a heck of a username. Serious Rockhound, same to you. Appreciate that support. Ramael, I'm saving an open source AI on a PC using grounding and capacitors. I'm thinking about running it on recasted windmills. Any thoughts? Good luck. If you pull it off, that would be amazing. But good luck. If I were you, I would take the PC apart as much as you can and put it in plastic containers just to try to stop any electric current. Yeah. Somebody wrote save books, not files. I agree. And if there's absolutely critical files, print them. Print them. I know some folks who they just get stuff online, and once they've got 100 pages, they print it, they put it in a binder, and they put it on the shelf. And it's got a date on them, and they've got like a short list of what's in it. Books, hard copies, printed stuff, etc., etc. Miss you on YouTube. Well, Tracy, where are you watching me right now? YouTube's pretty much the only place I post stuff. I post videos anyway. All I do on X is shit post, really. There was an enormous fly in here. I had to. He's still here. Nathaniel says, getting excited for the documentary and subsequent Joe Rogan podcast appearance. Yeah, I would love that as well. Haven't heard from him yet. Also, nuclear power on the moon. Great idea, ain't it? Yeah, I don't know exactly what they're thinking with that one. Andy says, I have the wrong shipping address on my order for your new book. I sent an email to info@Observer Ranch. Is that enough to get it changed? I would send another one, and I would also try to copy Kat on that email. If you can, if you know it. But I would also click the urgent button. Laura, thank you for that teal pear. Gotta love it. Gotta love the teal pears. Oh, am I finally caught up? Hey. LT says, hey, I'm new here. Is there any topic not welcome? For example, what was in the C V, the COVID vaccine. Oh, that was a bioweapon. You didn't know that? Thoughts on a hardened solar system? No. No. There's no way to know when you can use it safely. There's no way to, even if you could deconstruct it, put it in plastic, and save it from the micronova, we're probably going to have lost power years before that. And if we lost power years before that and the magnetic field keeps weakening, it's certainly not safe to bring it out yet. And then in the wake of the nova, the surface of the sun is reorganizing and super flaring on a weekly, monthly basis. I would prepare for the Stone Age. Do not try to take 2025 with you. You need to be thinking 2025 BC. Okay? A lot of you guys spend so much time thinking about Faraday this and electronics that and how to save it. Stop it. Atlantis, Mu, Lemuria, whoever built that temple they dug out of India, they were so far advanced, so more advanced than we are. And it's obvious they were more advanced than we are. They were reduced to nothing. Prepare for that. Mechanical, crank, wind, water, fine. As long as you don't try to convert it to electrical, you'll be fine. I know it's harsh, but that's the score of it right there. Okay. Serious Rockhound, what should I expect in Washington State? Lots and lots of psycho liberals. I'm out towards the coast in Tacoma. I've been noticing seismic activity. I mean, the coast, the entire West Coast is kind of in trouble. They are going to take a sloshback wave. Volcanoes and earthquakes are going to be bad there. In Washington, you've got, I mean, it's snowflake central. Just brutal situation being in Washington State right now. Carbon Overland says, hey, I stopped by the ranch this afternoon about 4:30. Sorry, I missed you. Yeah, I am not there every day. And if you're, I'll say this again, if you're going to come out to the ranch, let us know several days, several weeks in advance if you can. I have been able to come out and meet with people just one-on-one for hours. We just sit there and bullshit for a while, talk for a while. And it's kind of nice, actually. But you got to let us know in advance so that I can actually get out there. Jolton Joe said he is working you in the show. I don't know who Jolton Joe is or what show that is. 2046 or 2047 is the right year if you calculate the calendar change correctly. Are you talking about the Mayan calendar? That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. Jesso, you really know what you're doing, don't you? Somebody asked, what's a teal pear? Somebody show him what a teal pear is. Dan Brown, we are sold out. You'll be able to get it at Observer Ranch once we send them all out. And plus, when we start shipping out the books, the PDF, the e-copy will be available as well. The Forerunner, nice teal pear there. Freeze-dried ice cream, another wonderful teal pear there. Love it. Love it. Like, whoa. Adventure Hawk, new Facebook page, Space Weather News, Global Arc Barn Farmer. Did you put a link in that one? Oh. You can feel free to link the Facebook page for Space Weather News there. That's fine. Just because you're cool, keep up the fantastic work. Well, Bogdan, I appreciate that. And I absolutely loved you in Breaking Bad. My God, somebody take Elon's phone away. Elon has been buzzing my desk the entire time here. Just tweet, 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 tweet. Gran, what is up? Good to see you. Thank you for the teal pair. DR says, Ben, just show me your feet. I don't remember if you're the person who's said that like 5 times before on live streams. I don't know why you want to see my feet. I don't think most people want to see that. DJ says, how long will we humans on the planet be incapable of producing electricity? 2,000 or 3,000 years? Could you tell me if a pole shift occurs, would portable power stations? Nothing is going to work. Stop trying to bring 2025 with you. Think 2025 BC. And you can be like, but fine. Go play with your butt then. Okay? No buts here. I really know my shit. I am planning for Stone Age. Okay? I suggest you do the same. But time capsule by now. Somebody tell me where that's from. And if you know where that's from, we're automatically friends, by the way. Gran, another teal pair. God, I love you. Do you not think the beast system rises out of the ashes of the old world, hence why everybody flocks to it for dependence? It would be a perfect setup. I'm not sure what you're asking exactly. You mean like some kind of electrical system or governance system? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by beast system. But Austin, I will say this. Your questions tell me that you are an intelligent person. So good on you for that. KD Light, thank you for that teal pair. Gran says, late to the party, was moving stuff into the garages. Storm coming. Yeah, we got hit earlier today. Fast, hard. And then it was just gone. Would Wyoming be safe? Largely so. Would you suggest south, central, or near the Black Hill Mountains? South. Southwest if you can. Solid question. Okay, I scrolled too far. And I'm also trying to go slowly because I want to see if anybody know where that reference was that I dropped there. Do you suggest different advice, course of action for those of us not in your area for the major event if it happens at noon or midnight? No, actually. Regardless of whether this happens at noon or midnight, you're pretty much, your plan should be your plan. And as for people who aren't in my specific area, avoid big cities, avoid fault lines, avoid major volcanoes. You want to be, as close to a mile high in elevation as you can be, as far away from the ocean as you can be. And then ask yourself, if the power went out and I had to just deal with nature and the temperature swings, winter, summer, could I do that for however long with no power, no help, nothing, and survive? That's how you know you're in a good location. D Fresh, much appreciated. Thank you. Love that teal pair. Somebody asked how the speed dating thing went. It's looking like 3 couples got together, and one of them, it appears to have been love at first sight. They're already talking about a wedding at the ranch. So, yeah. When observers get together, it's like nothing you've ever seen. It's like nothing you've ever seen. It's not like trying to talk to people about this, whether it's your family, your friends, random people who don't care, don't want to listen, don't understand what you're talking about. When observers get together, find a time to come see us. Seriously. Scrolling. Why wouldn't we be able to create electricity for 2,000 to 3,000 years? Loss of tech or actual inability? Loss of tech, loss of knowledge, complete destruction of our society. I mean, we're going to be relearning the basics of math. We're going to be more focused on making sure the children don't die. We're going to be more focused on where's our next meal coming from, on preserving any kind of knowledge, teaching our children to read, in addition to farming and hunting and building and sewing and everything else. We're literally starting over. Think about it. It took 12,000 years after the last disaster for us to do electricity again. I'm being very generous to us when I say 2,000 to 3,000 years. We're ramping it up over at Solar Killshot. Oh, that's awesome, Laura. Fantastic. SolarKillshot.org is a place where you can find other observers in your area. Thank you, Ben. Well, you're very welcome, Lee. I need to make a trip to Colorado. Also, I want to try climbing Pikes Peak, even though I've got a leaky heart valve. I cannot tell you how much I advise against trying to climb Pikes Peak. It's bad idea, and it's not worth it either. There's like way better 14ers to go after. Jane Merrill, thank you for the Teal pair. That makes me happy. David Dean got it. Always sunny in Philadelphia. Thank you. So Flintstones, not Jetsons. Correct, Grateful Preps. Good to see you, by the way, my friend. And cheers right back at you on the Jersey Shore. Somebody just said, love your first book. Do you actually have my first book, Observing the Frontier from 2015? We only printed like 500 of those, and like 8 of them are downstairs here. Then again, there was only like 40,000 people watching me at that point. If you actually have my first book, I saw one of those on Amazon signed by me going for like $800 a couple years ago. Okay, scrolling. I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. That's why I'm going back. Do you know Strategic Relocation by Joel Skuzin? It would be great if you could write a similar book that rates each state's survivability after the pole flip nova and provides advice for each. Yeah, that would be wonderful, but I can't say I'm going to do that. I do plan to have a specific thing that I'll be offering to you guys on surviving this event specifically, and things you need to be thinking about. What makes this different from a normal doomsday prepper or a homesteader or somebody who's prepping for a shorter term emergency? There's very important differences when you're talking about this Earth's disaster cycle. And I imagine that's probably going to be ready for you guys about the time the documentary comes out. Just in time. Grand said, observers knows enough to help you solve technical problems on building your ark. Yep. Christ is king. That's all. Logan, can't hate on that comment. Can't hate on that comment at all. Justin L., thank you for the support, brother. KB Waffles, welcome back. Do you think it's worth spending all the money on solar for your house, even though it'll eventually get? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, put it this way. If you're looking at the next 15, 20 years, there are probably use cases where financially it would make sense. Definitely not if you got to put up a shitload of money up front. Definitely not. You definitely want to find somebody who's like doing one of those deals where like they install it, and then you, instead of paying the power company, like you pay them each month, and it's always less money than your power bill used to be, kind of thing. Maybe in that case. But in terms of anything solar related for aftermath, anything technological or electrical for the aftermath, my answer is going to be no. Remember, and this was something that me and Mike out at the ranch came up with. Don't try to take, and I'm going to keep saying it, don't try to take 2025 with you. Be thinking 2025 BC. I just spent $250 on a copy of World in Peril. That is hard to find these days. I've got 4. One of them is available in the library at Observer Ranch. We don't let you take it out of the library, but you are welcome to read it in the library. We are moving up. I scrolled too far like a dumbass. We are moving up your way, Ben, in October. Oh, Mara, that's awesome. We will be joining your survival community. Well, that is fantastic, Mara. I hope you come see us at the ranch post haste. We can chat about such things. Henrik's mom, thank you for that teal pair. Love it. Dumpster diving dragon. What's up, buddy? Hiya, Ben. And then a whole bunch of symbols, including what I think means infinite love. To you and all of y'all. Well, that was nice. That was a nice sentiment. Seems like you're having as good a day as I am. Taco Doodle. Awesome username, and thank you for the support. Jamie Oram, thank you. David Be Good. Do you think there are government or private organizations that have prepared for the disaster? Yeah, all of them. Every government knows what's happening. Every billionaire knows what's happening. Although some of them didn't get the full story. So you've got people like Zuckerberg building in Hawaii. Yeah, somebody only told him half the story. This is like a Francis Scott Key, the great Francis Scott Key, F. Scott Fitzgerald, and the Great Gatsby, old money versus new money. Some old money was like, yeah, I don't want Zuckerberg around in the aftermath. Tell him to go build in Hawaii. That's basically what that is. Francis Scott Key's the one who wrote the national anthem. Ben, I saw you on Forbidden Frontiers previously. Cool. I am a mecha engineer. When you start talking about crust displacement and tidal events, what amount of G-force is a human expected to experience? I have absolutely no idea. I have not done the math on that. Fair question, though. Maybe you could do the math on that. Evolutional change in humans. We are electrical bio. That's a bit of a sentence fragment, and yet my answer is yes. My answer is yes. Get ready to live like you're shipwrecked in 1492. Might as well be that, yeah. Steam power isn't as hard as people think. Horsepower multiplier, I agree. Steam, water, wind, crank, beasts of burden, pedaling, if you can hook that up to the mechanical power is fantastic. That's going to be how we restart. Chad Zubar on YouTube is what we live like after the flip. I don't know who that is, but shout out to Chad Zubar. Apparently, is the current planetary alignment causing the Ring of Fire tectonic plate movement? I don't know what current planetary alignment you're talking about, but planets are aligned for a couple of hours at most. So no. How will the pole shift affect the south of Norway? Well, if you survive everything, it's going to be a lot warmer in the future. Your most important question in the southern part of Norway is, when you lose power, can you handle your winters if they are 20% worse? No electricity, no help, no stores, nobody to help bring you firewood or help you chop firewood, nothing. Just you're on your own. And the winters are about 20% worse. Can you survive that? That's what you need to be asking yourself. And yes, there will be tsunamis. Scroll too far again. Oh, God, I can't wait to get to that one. That'll be fun. Fill gold ball with mercury, put a cross on it. Ambient charge spins the mercury, generating a magnetic solar shield. Obelisks in farmland discharge until we actually get the big solar storm. The current comes into it, explodes the ball, and mercury goes everywhere, poisoning everyone involved. I don't advise that at all. Would a binary dark star, dead star moving our way cause the same magnetic anomalies? No. And no such thing exists. Okay? Stop listening to Terrell. He doesn't have a damn clue what he's talking about. There is no Nibiru. There is no Planet X. Nothing is coming. Nothing is here. Unless you're talking about the galactic current sheet. that's here, that's been here. And that's what's causing all of the issues. And by the way, if there was a binary dark star or a dead star moving our way, we would see at least one gravitational effect. That's, by the way, as nice as I am capable of answering that question. Perhaps I'm improving. What 14er do you recommend? I actually don't know the names of them. I just know that Pikes Peak is not the best one. You've been on the COG. That's cool. Also, I found methylene blue compensates for my heart issue. Well, that is fantastic. I take methylene blue before posterior chain day just to sort of blast through it at the gym. I do need a little tiny extra boost. On that day, I do squats, deadlifts, and then some back work up the chain as well on that day. So I know what you're talking about, and methyl blue is fantastic. You know, I mean, if the goal is to come and like be at the ranch and like meet other observers and stuff like that, then obviously, yeah, you want to do Pikes Peaks. It's the only 14er around. But I can't tell you I actually know the names of the other ones. I just know there are plenty of other ones. Have we scrolled too far? No. Shedrick says, kind of off topic, but me and the wife were reading Ecclesiastes 9. We got to 13 to 16 and thought of you. Thanks for all your work over these years. I'm going to have to go look up what that says because I don't know that one off the top of my head. Somebody asked why I'm not too salty today. I had a very good night and a good morning and a good slightly after lunch. That's kind of all it takes, all right? I'm in a fantastic fucking mood. Oh, yes, silver, colloidal silver is fantastic. If you've got a good legit source for it, I do also recommend colloidal silver. But seriously, like whoever you're getting it from, you should respect their intelligence. It should not be just some dumbass making it. Okay, I'm serious about that. There is such thing as too much. Buying property in Colorado. Good for you, Jamie. Thinking to build an underground Earthship cross. Not bad. No metal except maybe nails. Not bad. Still working a plan for covering windows during the event. Any thoughts or a dumb idea? Not a dumb idea at all. I recommend... All right, so I don't know what you call this kind of plastic, but it's see-through. It's what is around the ice rink at a hockey game, to stop the puck from hitting the people, like those aren't glass, they're plastic. That's actually a good thing just for the windows in general. The more plastic you get, the better you're going to be there. Fantastic. Ben, are there any fruits and vegetables you recommend or don't recommend looking to improve my diet? So a lot of people don't know this. I'm no longer fully carnivore. I'm clumsy as apparently. I do like adding in fruit in the morning. It also helps that I'm on a bulk right now. So a little bit of extra calories, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of carbs is not a big deal. I'm trying to grow. So fruits in the mornings, and then I will include some vegetables, but I don't do oxalates, really. So you're never going to see me with leafy greens or cruciferous stuff. For me, it's mostly the root vegetables. I'll have some carrots. I love onions. Absolutely. Stuff like that. But in general, the more carnivore you can go. Carnivore is fantastic if you're trying to be healthier. Once you hit a certain threshold, you need to be dialing in other ways. And the healthiest version of you probably isn't carnivore, keto, primal. It's probably selectively adding little things back in there. I don't know if that's what the hell you were looking for as an answer, but that's what you got. Sorry. $2. Have a kid on the way. Shout out baby Aries for me and the girl, please. Shout out to baby Aries and the girl. Right on. Is that what you were asking me to do, man? I can't tell. Shout out to whoever the hell you wanted me shouting out to. You're awesome. Because B to the T Studios said so. And so it was. Yeah, I know you meant $5. I saw that as I was scrolling past. It's okay. It's actually funnier the way you did it. Thank you for that, Teal Pear. I'm going to butcher your name. Oh, no, I'm not. La Petite Mama. That's cute. That is cute. Okie dokie. We have just a little bit of time left. Do we take the chickens underground too? Maybe. Maybe. Here's what I can tell you. After every single one of these disasters, plants and animals are still here. Are animals better tied into nature? Do they perhaps have better instincts for danger of that sort? Yeah, I would say so. If you have room and it's not going to cause you problems, it doesn't hurt to try to bring your animals into the shelter with you. If you can't do that, it's probably not the end of the world, even though it's literally the end of the world. Ballistic film on Earthship glass, both sides. I don't have any idea what the hell that means, but I'm going to look into ballistic film, that's for sure. Thanks for making a good girl smile, Ben. Oh, right on. I didn't know that's what I was doing. Well, now smile even harder because you're like double awesome because B to the T Studios said so. Baby Aries and crew, you are the best. The absolute best. You know, the only way that I would say definitely try to save your chickens, don't trust them, is if they're like, hey, from Moana. Then again, about half of our species is like, hey, from Moana. Boy, that's depressing as shit in terms of something to come out your mouth, but it's also not true. It's looking like we've got maybe another storm coming. Is that thunder out there? We'll see. All right. Well, guys, I'll tell you what. This was fun. I have some good stuff for the morning show. I think we managed to be relatively salt-free even when I was presented with a Nibiru question, which, I mean, good Lord. Okay, Susie Rose Finley, our resident Viking, showing up last second as I'm about to hit the end button. Let's see what Susie's going to say. Greetings from 109-degree Las Vegas. My God. I want to move to Colorado permanently. I don't blame you. The Vikings brought their animals into their longhouses. That is true. That is true. Although I'm not sure the Vikings survived an actual cyclical catastrophe. They may have. I don't know how long the Vikings were doing their thing up there. I didn't think it was like thousands and thousands of years, but I'm also not a Viking expert in any sense. Susie and Leah, absolutely. Can't wait till you're there. Ben, the fact that this next 12,000-year event is the first that is not within an ice age has got to be good. Yeah, unless it sends us back into one. Which, boy, it's really looking like we're going to have a glacial cycle again. Not good. That is not good. Here's for some coffee. I enjoy your content. Have a great night. Chad, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know, sometimes one of the nicest things you guys can do is just say something small and nice. That is just the God's honest truth. What are the odds the Earth's core is gold? One, who have you been talking to? And two, not the innermost core, but maybe if we're talking about the outer inner core transition area, it's not the dumbest guess in the world. Okay. That was crazy. Okay. All right. I know I was about to bounce anyway, but that was YouTube. That was not me. That was not me. That was YouTube booting me out. But it did give me a button to reconnect like instantly, which they don't usually do that. So maybe this was an actual glitch. But anyway, TJ, that's going to be how we close with the teal pair. Thank you very much. And thank you for being you. Guys, I will see you in the morning again. We do have some good stuff coming in the morning news show. Not to mention that we're going to be keeping an eye on those sunspots because they're, you know. All right. I'll see you guys in the morning for the daily show. Be safe, everyone.